What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman, the third of GBP Daily, and thank you for tuning in to the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over the social sphere at GBP Daily. Shoot me a follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Hit me up in the DMs. I am always available to talk Packers anytime, any day, and today is Wednesday, February 4th. Happy hump day. Happy Super Bowl week. Anybody throwing any Super Bowl parties? Anybody cooking up some good food, hanging out with some friends? I think I'll be partaking in a little bit of that on Sunday myself. I have always hoped, now that I'm an adult, I've always thought about, what type of Super Bowl party would I throw if the Packers made it. The last time we won it, I was in high school, so not necessarily in a position to, host and throw a big gathering, if you will. During Super Bowl 45, I was at home watching it with my dad, my siblings, a core memory in my life, no doubt about that. Super Bowl 31, I was not even 2 years old, so no clue what went on for that one, but if the Packers made the Super Bowl in this day and age, I've got my own house. I've got a wife, a 4-year-old, right, etc. I've just like everyone else have hoped to be able to throw a Super Bowl gathering for my team. And a few years ago, when we were playing the Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game, a game where for some reason I didn't think we had any business losing. I had already thought in my head, I already made up in my head that we were advancing to the Super Bowl before the game even started, and had already kind of gotten things in motion, right, to host a Super Bowl party. And people always ask me, if the Packers make the Super Bowl, would you consider going? And of course, that'd be great to be there, all that stuff. And when I was younger, I always had dreamed of being at the actual Super Bowl when the Packers win it. My aunt and uncle, my great aunt and uncle were at Super Bowl 31. They gave me a huge, 4-foot framed picture of Super Bowl 31. It's got their tickets in the frame, some pictures from that game. And yeah, they were at Super Bowl 31, which is crazy. But as I've gotten older, I've been to a lot more Packers games at Lambeau, of course, and just coming to the realization after talking to people who have been to the Super Bowl, it apparently does not feel like a game where you're celebrating kind of either team, right? It has more of a corporate feel. It's at a neutral site. There isn't much stuff around the stadium about the two teams playing, since it's neither one of their stadiums in most cases. Just the branding of the Super Bowl title itself. And so, yeah, I'm now dreaming of being at an NFC title game at Lambeau where the Packers advance to the Super Bowl. That's kind of my dream. That way, when the Packers advance, I can be around all my family, enjoy the big game together. My immediate family is all Packers fans. Extend that out a little bit, and most everybody are still Packers fans. So to have everyone together to watch, hopefully a Packers Super Bowl win is my new dream. So you're not able to do that if you go to the Super Bowl itself, right? Probably you and one other, you and maybe 2 or 3 others. The prices of the tickets are just insane. And yeah, I did it with my dad back in the day, watching it at home back in 2011. My dad, my siblings. Now, sometime, hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to add some more family to a memory like that, including my wife, my daughter. Anyways, back to the week of the Packers-Bucks game. Rodgers-Brady game, NFC title game at Lambeau. Of course, it's the COVID year, so we can't have a full crowd, which was just ridiculous. Otherwise, I probably would have been there. The Scotty Miller touchdown pass right before the half. The 3 Tom Brady second half interceptions in that game. Kevin King gets called for holding to seal the game for the Bucks. The week leading up to that game, I had all these plans. My house wasn't big enough to host the amount of people I was expecting. So, we're looking for venues. We're looking for a space that can hold everybody comfortably, all that stuff. And the Packers decide to choke yet another playoff game down our leg, in this case to advance to the Super Bowl. So all those dreams went out the window. No Super Bowl party planning back in, what was that, 2020? Just a rough ending to that season. A season where Rodgers was MVP. Devontae was on top of the league as far as wide receivers go. The Smith bros were out in full force, and we let Brady come into town and take us out. So a fun fact for you here. Here are the teams with the most regular season wins since 2011. The Patriots are in first place with 158, and they have 5 Super Bowl appearances. The Chiefs are tied with the Patriots with 158 as well, and they have 6 Super Bowl appearances. The Packers are in third with 155 wins and have 0 Super Bowl appearances. The Seahawks are in fourth with 154 wins, and they have 3 Super Bowl appearances. So that fun stat brought to you by Zach Cruz. So in essence, we are either cursed or we have had the most brutal playoff luck over the past 15 years in the history of the sport. So me personally, I think it's both. But enough with the doom and gloom and memory lane type of talk here. Anybody planning on going to a Bucks game this winter? Giannis might be here to stay. I hope so. Who knows when he'll be back playing. What about maybe a Badgers basketball game, a Brewers game this summer? If so, do not buy your tickets anywhere else other than TickPick. They guarantee the cheapest Packers tickets on the market, and if you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, they will refund you 110% of your money back. Same tickets as everybody else: StubHub, SeatGeek, Ticketmaster, Vivid Seats, Game Time, all those guys. And TickPick is the cheapest every single time. Download the TickPick app. The link to their app is in the description of this video. Shout out to TickPick. They are the best in the biz. Let's hop into the comment section here, shall we? And as always, if you want to be a part of the show, give me a call on the Nicolet Law hotline, 319-242-2332. The Midwest personal injury law firm that actually shows up when you need them. If you've been hurt in a crash, fall, or another accident, the last thing you want to deal with is the insurance companies and paperwork. Nicolet Law takes that off your plate so you can focus on healing up. They walk you through your options. They handle the insurance companies and fight to get you what is fair. No upfront fees, no guesswork, just local attorneys who have your back. Call 1-800-NICOLET or visit nicolet.com. What do we got popping up in the chat? Appreciate everybody for hopping in on this beautiful Wednesday. A little chilly out there where I'm at, 4 hours-ish south of Lambeau. A cool, 20 degrees here? 24 degrees, it says on the old computer. So it's going to get warmer this weekend and even warmer next week in the 40s, which is crazy. My man Keegan in the house, Pickens to Green Bay. I had just, excuse me. When you get up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym, you tend to be a little tired in the afternoon. So I had just seen before I came on, Keegan, that Micah Parsons was apparently trying to recruit George Pickens to Green Bay. So do with that what you will. Bill, the bearer of good memories today. Thanks, Rob. Parsons showed up better last night than Nixon. Ooh. The Nixon hate is still alive and well. I don't know if anybody saw, but Nixon gave up on another goal line stop in the Pro Bowl game last night. I didn't watch. I just saw a clip, of course. Oh, man. Excuse me. I just saw a clip of him, which I don't expect anybody to be giving any effort in the Pro Bowl game. But with that play he had against the Bears, it looked pretty similar. So, Phil, appreciate you as always. My man, Nick, Goose press conference does not make me excited for next season. Sounds like we're running it back with the same group, minus Halfley. Nick, what is happening here? I get it. It was pretty status quo. But I will say I do not expect you to elaborate on any sort of contractual conversations, whether players will be here or not. He's going to take the high road. He's going to keep everything as close to his vest as possible. I don't expect him to trash players, even though he has every right to do so. I don't expect him to, trash coaches. So, although disappointing, not surprising one bit. Your questions related to Ryan's Goody's presser sure was interesting today. Yeah, he finally had his season-ending press conference today, if you were not aware. A few notables. Sounds like Rashawn Gary, Aaron Banks, and Nate Hobbs will be back. Rich Bisaccia will be back. He praised McManus for making 32 straight kicks before the Chicago game. Sounds like he will be back. As far as Rich Bisaccia goes, I figured he was staying all along. Goody has said, multiple times he's got a lot of faith in Rich, and he said that same thing today. He said not only with the X's and O's, but what he brings culturally, I guess. And regardless of what it is, it's obviously not translating to the field. And we're bringing him back against the many wishes of Packers fans. So hopefully the play on the field will change, right? It has not been good enough for the better part of the last decade, 15 years. He praised Rashawn Gary for racking up the pressures and sacks early on in the season, but also noted he did not finish the year like he'd hoped. So, yeah, I do expect Rashawn Gary to be back. Again, against the wishes of many Packers fans. All in all, at least from my perspective, he's kind of taken the easy route here for the presser. Nothing headline worthy for calling any players out. I don't expect him to do that. Probably the smart thing to do, but kind of disingenuous to me. But that is why I am sitting in my office, right, talking about this stuff instead of actually working on the solutions. So I do have faith in Gutekunst. The Packers obviously have faith in him, just giving him an extension. But the things like McManus, Nixon, and Rashawn, I think, and I genuinely think we'd be better off trying, other alternatives. Rashawn and Nixon famously taking plays off, jogging around on top of not playing good ball. And the Rich Bisaccia fiasco, that didn't surprise me. I know the special teams play all goes back to him, right? But I will come to his defense a little bit. The guys were in position to make the plays. For example, Romeo Doubs was in position to recover that onside kick and for some reason wasn't able to. And although he is the highest paid special teams coordinator in the league, he also holds the title of assistant head coach. So his weight is measured by more than just how the special teams perform. So, yeah, an interesting, but at the same time, not so surprising presser. But Nick, you got to get back on the horse, my man, for being excited. You got to remember, we were right there. We were right there until we got massacred with injuries. So thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Nick, for hopping in. Appreciate you guys as always. Mason, offseason is slowly drumming by. I hear you, Mason. But don't worry. We've got free agency coming up in March, which I don't think we'll be doing much in. And then we've got the draft, which we currently don't have a first-round pick for. So, yeah, it looks bleak now. But like I was just saying, you got to remember, we were right there. We were leading the Super Bowl favorite Broncos by 9 in the second half before we hit the bandsaw. Micah goes down, Christian goes down, our offensive line decides to sell out. And from then on, we did not win a game for the rest of the year. So tough way to go out. But we were right there with the big dogs until those final injuries struck and proved to be a little too much, obviously. So run it back with a similar squad. Hopefully have most of our top guys healthy at the end of the year. And I think we'll be Super Bowl contenders like we were before we got massacred with injuries. So appreciate you, Mason. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me today. Thank you again for tuning in. Always love talking Packers with you guys. Hit me up on social media at GBP Daily. Subscribe to the YouTube channel It's right there, the button. It's free. It really helps me out. Any sort of interaction helps myself and helps the page. I will be back and at it again tomorrow. Thank you again for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you.